like it. I like the amount of harass that they can kind of push out. But again, you've got X Nova who's going to continuously just be healing up Ghost, which will make it difficult for them to put on too much pressure. So kind of, oh, all right, there it is. There's our first blood. I think I like it. I like the amount of harass that they can kind of push out. But again, you've got X Nova who's going to continuously just be healing up Ghost, which will make it difficult for them to put on too much pressure. So kind of, oh, all right, there it is. There's our first blood.
Pressure back on though now coming out here. So with Kaka,
oh, they can turn it around though.
Nigma back again.
Yeah, Miracle's sitting very low. Chalice.
Too close for comfort.
Not that Starbreaker. The pressure back on though now coming out here. So with Kaka joining back up, it will force Nigma back again. But yeah, they got a little too close for comfort, I think, for Miracle. Oh, top lane though, Chalice make. Oh, that's so close on Miracle yet again.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Yeah, just a couple little issues. It's day one. These things happen. But yeah, Miracle sitting so incredibly low during it. Does have himself a stick. Kaka going for the dive. Oh, top lane though, Chalice make. Oh, that's so close on Miracle yet again.
I'm back.
Still gonna be Kaka.
Welcome back. Yeah, just a couple little issues. It's day one. These things happen. But yeah, Miracle sitting so incredibly low during it. Does have himself a stick. Kaka going for the dive though here in the top lane. They have the creeps in position. Chalice finding Miracles and Starbreaker. It's still gonna be Kaka. Who gets the kill? That's a big one. Now GH might be able to get a return kill here onto Kaka. He will got the tag team in place. Gonna go and pop the fairy fire, but I'm not sure he's gonna be.
That for Nigma is that was when there was this massive creep wave pushing into the tower, and Miracle missed all of it. So GH is huge. We'll see if that can transition into anything.
Quite make it away. They've got the snowball Kaka that's pretty fast, but nope. He will eventually die.
You know, kind of the worst thing about that for Nigma is that that was when there was this massive creep wave pushing into the tower, and Miracle missed all of it. So GH is huge. We'll see if that can transition into anything. But Miracle's having a really tough time.
They are
bottom lane.
Let's see how's
Ghost doing.
Very good RNG.
He's doing all right for a Spectre. You know, it's okay
For the content.
I just realized it's Ghost playing a Ghost. All the things for the Maymays.
That is correct. That is correct. They are messing around in a $5 million tournament. Very good RNG.
Whereas Tiny's sitting at I don't think that's the case.
For the content.
But, looking fairly even there for all the things for the Maymays.
Yeah, my boys are memers.
Taking over in the mid lane though, things seem to be going pretty well here for the Embers, sitting at 15 and 5, whereas Tiny's sitting at 12 and 4. Not too huge of a discrepancy, but looking fairly even there for the time being. The bottom lane. Kuro sitting up top lane, Kaka. This is not looking great here for the Shaman. Does manage to get the shackles up. He just wants to get those spells so that way he can put out some damage before he inevitably will fall here.
It's a little weird.
But while this is happening, we lose X Nova in the bottom lane.
Something like that, but
and Kuro sitting a bit low here himself, but Ghost just wants to hit these creeps.
Yeah, so these laning choices by Nigma Galaxy, it's absolutely working out. It's a little weird to, like, you know, see a Zeus Nature's Prophet or something like that, but they're winning both lanes because they rotated the supports like this. I don't think RNG was expecting this.
This was a really good call by them.
I mean, I don't think Nigma Galaxy was expecting to go bot and get any kills even on the Warlock. I think that was just the lane where they're like, all right, we'll just out-harass them. But this lane, this top lane, they do so much damage between the Troll and the Tusk.
With the fact that they have this aggression,
this was a really good call by them.
And being able to collect some of these kills. Yeah, pretty interesting when you consider the fact that you've got, you know, so much lockdown potentially coming out from RNG. And, you know, Miracle had a difficult time. He did die early on, but they're making up for this quite nicely with the fact that they have this aggression, especially with having a Tusk up there and being able to collect some of these kills.
Yeah, the good news for RNG though is that it's really only connecting kills on the supports. Which does mean that Nigma, they're doing very well in the lanes. They've got a lot of denies on mind control, for example. Although I imagine a lot of those would be on his own treants.
But they do have a rotation mid right now, so a little bit of aggression though, going after mind control. Interested to see, yeah, that's going to push them away from the wave, allow Ghost to continue to farm up some of these treants if possible too.
Not
a little bit of that
a
deny
hero you'd
action that we
expect to
talked
rotate
about.
and get a kill Zeus.
But they do have a rotation
Zeus.
mid right now,
Yeah,
so
yeah. I mean, Tiny versus Ember. I think this is
interested to see. Yeah, that was a very good rotation. They collect over on Somnus.
You got the lockdown for him if there is any rotation
Not
that comes
a
through.
hero you'd expect to
And,
rotate and get a
got
kill
physical damage
Zeus.
as well. That
But
goes
they're
entirely
doing
through
Zeus.
that Ember shield.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, Tiny versus Ember. I think this is one of those matchups that Tiny does fairly well in. You've got the lockdown for him if there is any rotation that comes through, and you've got a lot of physical damage as well that goes entirely through that Ember shield. So
once you hit that 6, so if you do get ganked, you
Yeah,
should
very
be
nice
just make it
rotation.
zip away.
It's so important
So, it's a very
pre-6 for
smart move,
Ember,
and
right?
again,
Because you need to
no
make
one
sure that you
expects
have
the
that
roving
lockdown. He
ganking
can't
Zeus,
just zip
right?
away, because I know
No,
Quinn
no,
frequently
no.
says, this is a hero that if
I
you're
think
playing him right, should never
that's a big
actually
reason why
die.
Tiny is
You
so
should always
strong
have a
in this patch,
remnant up
though,
once
is
you
that
hit
a lot
that
of these
6,
heroes
so
like
if you
Ember,
do get ganked,
yes,
you should
it
be
is your
able to
fault
just zip
if you ever
away.
die
So
at
it's a very
6,
smart move, and again,
but
no one
you
expects
can't
the roving
survive
ganking
against Tiny,
Zeus,
'cause
right?
no, they don't.
You can't press spells during
I
avalanche
think
anymore.
Right.
And then you just
That's
get
a
the
big
toss
reason why
follow-up.
Tiny is so
And
strong in this
oftentimes
patch,
that's
though,
more
is that a
than
lot of these
enough
heroes
to
like
kill
Ember,
anybody full to zero.
yes, it is your
Almost
fault
full to
if you
zero.
ever die
With
past
just a little
6,
bit of help.
but you
So
can't
it's like this hero just seems to have
survive
really
against
good
Tiny
matchups
because
in the current patch.
you can't press spells during avalanche anymore.
Right, we
And
are
then you just
seeing
get the
some
toss
pings come out
follow-up,
towards this
and oftentimes
bottom
that's
lane. They
more
feel
than
like
enough
Ghost have
to
been
kill
having a
anybody
little
full
bit
to
too
0,
much of a good
or
time
almost
here.
full to 0.
So that
with just a
Invision
little bit
over
of
on
help.
Smail.
So it's like this hero just seems to have
creeping
really
their
good
way
matchups
over.
in the current
I'm
patch.
sure if they really are playing pretty close to the tower right now.
We are seeing some
Right,
pings
they're
come
up the
out
way.
towards this bottom lane. They feel like Ghost has been having a little bit too much of a good time here. So that Invision over on Smail. So they'll start creeping their way over. Not sure if they really are playing pretty close to the tower right now.
Need to be a little
Trying to clear up the wave.
So does Miracle, though.
Top lane
So does
again,
Miracle.
trying to make moves here, but Miracle and DH is proving to be too strong. So they'll get themselves yet another kill on Kaka. Try to go forward there with the Celestial Hammer. Chalice needs to be a little careful.
I mean,
So does Miracle, though.
very nice.
So does Miracle. We got a lot of action going on in both of these lanes. Chalice, though, getting chased down here by Nigma. He's going to fall.
He's tanking a million. And
He's gonna ult farm to heal up from the wave. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, very nice, like, micro mechanics coming out from the top lane. Chalice actually had Starbreaker. It's just Miracle kept his distance, even though he's tanking a million creeps, and survives. And Kaka again.
Top lane. Gonna survive again. He just TP'd back. He just did, and they don't even manage to get the kill on GH here. Look at this. He's sitting so low. Sometimes he wants it though.
Yeah,
Does
it's not
rotate
the
over,
worst. It's
but
not the worst for him.
that's
You
like
know,
just
it's pretty quick to
not
get
quite
back.
enough.
But
It's like GH is gonna survive again, and Somnus using that TP now has to walk his way back over here to the mid lane.
Yeah, especially because he got some of those early solo kills.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst. It's not the worst for him. You know, it's pretty quick to get back.
Level 3,
But you definitely want that kill on GH. He's a
we can see-
big bounty at this point.
Making a rotation through.
Yeah, especially because he got some of those early solo kills.
1 in 6 on Kaka.
He is struggling.
Kill here.
Level 3,
And I would
man.
not be
Bot
surprised
lane,
to see them go for a
we
dive
can
as
see
Mind Control just starts running for the tree. So does
Smell
Samil.
making a rotation through.
Ghost hiding.
Yeah, he's been down here a couple times. Does have himself an ace during though this time, so find himself back to Nova. They'll get a nice cleanup kill here. And I would not be surprised to see them go for a dive as Mind Control just starts running for the tree. So does Samil. Ghost drops a sprout and just use Ghost hiding over the corner though. They're still just trying to look for that vision, but Ghost
They see him.
oh, but the avalanche connects over onto Ghost. They'll go for the haunt play. See if they can try to confuse them a little bit. We'll see him move around and just use it as a forms of escape, but that is a tower taken now. For Nigma top lane though, putting the pressure over onto Miracle. They know that he doesn't have that ultimate any longer, so they get the kill, follow up with the Dawnbreaker coming in with the heal, but the stun avalanche coming into play, taking down Kaka, and now X Nova, he has Heartless Music, gonna have to eat through them. Mind Control giving a bunch of hits. Ghost though going right back in, they got the Celestial Hammer, they're gonna chase after Mind Control, looking for the Starbreaker, but it does get canceled here. Another avalanche, they need a bit more damage to remove Chalice here from this lane, and they don't seem to quite have it just yet, so
That was
looks
really
like
close
this
to being
engagement
so
for the
nice
most
from
part
Sumail.
is over.
Like, he makes his
Unless
rotation
Sumail
pause,
was thinking
they
about
secure
it.
the tower.
He's thinking maybe I can grab
Ghost
this
has to
Dawnbreaker,
hunt
but
out. Sumail
no,
TP's
man, that
top.
was-
Nigmas, they say that was a
He
good
actually
fight. He'll
baiting
chill.
his wand charge
That was
there, so
really
he had the
close to being
Avatar
so
combo.
nice from Sumail.
Unfortunately,
Like, he makes this
misses the
rotation
toss
bot,
onto
they secure the
Chalice,
tower,
which would triple
Ghost
or
has
2x
to
the damage
haunt
of
out.
the
Sumail
avalanche.
TP's top.
So he actually would have killed
He was actually
Chalice if he
baiting
had
his
gotten the
wand
toss
charges
on
there,
him.
so he had the Avatar's
But,
combo.
just, like,
Unfortunately, he
slightly off the
misses
mark
the
with
toss
with
onto
toss.
Chalice, which would
triple or 2x the damage of the avalanche. So he actually would have killed Chalice if he had gotten the toss on him.
No breaks for
But
Kaka
just
here.
like slightly off the mark with the toss.
He's immediately punished. They're gonna go back in, though.
But other than that, like for Nigma, that was a very solid last 2 minutes.
The pain train has no breaks for Kaka here. Anytime he shows up on this map, he's immediately punished. They're gonna go back in, though. They want to get this kill on GH. Again, he's had quite a few kills under his belt, so that's going to be a killing spree that gets ended. And Chalice chasing after mind control. Gonna have Sums back him up. Starbreaker will really connect, and there's a whack of the hammer.
If there's a TP in and trade that you can make, this is good from RNG. Really great. I think especially when you have a hero like Dawnbreaker, like in Dota these days, you don't just let people get some pick off on your support. If there's a TP in and trade that you can make, you want to do it. Especially when you have a hero like Dawnbreaker, who can just stick in this bot lane, push it out, and then ult in. So it's like they wanted to be down here in the first place. So throwing Kaka away there in order to like get their cores a couple of kills, that's exactly what RNG wants.
Smoke play over coming out from Nigma. They found themselves the Ember. Can they keep him alive for long enough? Yes, there it is. There's Challenge right back in there with the Dawnbreaker ulti. Is it going to be enough to save Somnus, though? A nice play here from Kaka will ensure that the Ember will stay alive. So he throws out one of the remnants and to try to heal up a little bit. The toss up into the air over onto Chalice. He's taking a beating, but he sidesteps. No, there it is. The Thunder God's Wrap will ensure. And they get the kill on Somnus, despite the fact that they ulted in trying to save him. And X-Nova will get cleaned up at the very end by mind control. A nice play coming out from Nigma. Snail, top lane, sees the Spectre, and there's a rotation coming out immediately. Toss up into the air. Here comes Miracle. He'd like to be a part of this. We'll be able to slow down Ghost. Not sure if they go for this, though, as Miracle hunting. Not going to be able to quite find the Spectre, though, so Ghost will teleport out safety.
Yeah, and Ghost does have Haunt up, so he can go kind of farm safely in his jungle, and he'll get wherever he needs to go. But, man, mid lane's actually getting pressured quite a lot with catapults.
A little bit more pressure being placed on Somnus, but it's a nice arcane rune picked up for him. I was gonna say, we had this conversation yesterday where we were talking about Dawnbreaker and how nice it is whenever you have someone who's like, say, like an Alchemist, right? Alchemist just wants to jungle. Anytime that Alchemist gets ganked, you can just immediately have the Dawnbreaker, as long as the ulti's up, right? Come in and save and turn around the engagement. And we saw something very similar to that in that last fight, except for the fact that they did have the Thunder God's Wrath to clean up any stragglers there. So a pretty nice draft here coming out from Nigma, considering all those angles.
Yeah, Nigma just has overwhelming damage with the heroes they have right now, and they did very well in the lanes because of their great mechanics, the micro mechanics in the lanes. I think they played really well, but also the decision to put GH top and Kuro bot. As we do see a smoke rotation here, they see Ghost, but it's a bit of a weird one.
It is. In fact, they're going to have X-Nova break the smoke tank. The gank, in comes a heal. It's a little bit too late, but they will be able to still make this engagement as they find themselves some mail. They've got the lockdown. They'll use the Serpent Wars, and the chase is on after Kuro. Does get that little leap forward, plus a snowball, but they're still hunting. They'd like to get another kill as Kuro running forward, but then they'll find Miracle. The route coming into place is not looking good now. They'll end up losing someone. They do end up losing Kuroki, but now Chalice is not looking very good himself, as that Celestial Hammer not going to be able to drag him out of Death's grip.
The one fight where Kaka does not die was that one. Unfortunately, his cores do go down, and that's also a lot of cooldowns that were just pressed for RNG. So, yeah, losing Sumail, not great. I like the Nigma showing up with all of their heroes to these fights because they recognize that if they just go late game against this RNG lineup and they don't have some sort of, like, net worth advantage or, you know, like Miracle, for example, he's going for this Battle Fury. I think he's got the full Battle Fury coming out, yeah.
And they smelled Kaka over here. They immediately... All right, there it is. A good avalanche. The Walrus Punch plus the Snowball. Bounce into the air. Can they clean up over on the Tusk? It's looking good on the back line, so go for that Chaotic Offering. And they're doing a lot of damage. The chase over onto Smell. Need a little bit more damage than they have. And Kuro picking up the haste rune will be able to escape.
I can't believe you just said they smelled Kaka with a straight
I know,
face.
I realized it when I said that. I was like, oh, man.
I can't ignore that. That's too good. That's excellent.
Man, out of all the people to make a poop joke, it ends up being me and not you.
Yeah,
How did that happen?
I appreciate it, Moxie. I appreciate it. As a Chalice? Yeah, he can put some pressure on here.
He's fairly tanky.
Yeah, no, he's not gonna... Doesn't want to get counter-rotated on. Mind Control praising his lucky stars that we saw in the opening ceremony.
so the way that Nigma is playing this has been just spot on with the aggression. They know that if it goes late, it'll be a problem. And I mentioned this earlier during, you know, the draft, is that the Chinese teams tend to play Dota just a little bit slower. So what does RNG need to do now to be able to, you know, kind of get their hands on the control of this game again and make it go late, so that way Ghost can get that capacity online?
I mean, honestly, after the last fight, I think they're pretty happy with how this game is going. They've kind of stopped Sumail's snowballing to a large degree. They're farming up this Ancient stack here. They have Chalice farming out the bottom lane, and he's going to be able to Solar Guardian in. So they just want to like maintain a passive map. And if they're 50-50ing, I think the later and later this game goes, the easier it is for them to fight. Miracle's solution to this is he's got a Battle Fury, so he's going to try to flash farm and get to that like 3 or 4 item timing on Troll before Ghost can get there, because obviously Spectre without a Battle Fury is not going to farm anywhere near as fast. As we do see a bit of a rune standoff going on here. And Nigma gets this one for free. Yeah, that always sucks when you're Radiant. Like, you often have control of the top rune, not the bot rune. So if it spawns bot, you just get a free DD if you're Dire.
Smoke does pop over on RNG. There was a troll here, and they'll even go for the haunt plays. They'll zip in, and they'll just start putting out the damage. Solar Guardian coming in hot. Snowball also going to be able to land. They go and they drop the wards, but they're just going to roll right back out of this. The damage going to be enough. No, the follow-up. The Thunder got scrapped. It's just so much coming out here as GH will end up falling. Ghost Fools, Kaka dies, and now Somnus, and the chase is on. They want themselves this Dawnbreaker. She's trying to stay alive. X-Nova running for his life. Sumail with the double damage. That feels very bad when you're a support getting hunted by a Tiny with DD. So looks like the lone survivor is going to be Chalice.
Dude, GH is
go right to the Roche pit.
GH is actually just a fucking god. Like, there's no analysis after that fight other than that. That was just amazing. He was there at the absolute perfect time. The snowball was perfect. He didn't get caught by a stun. It's enough to let Miracle get his ultimate off, and because of the farm that Miracle has, and also the tag team that GH is applying on top of that, it's enough to kill the Spectre and turn that fight. That was just insane. Like, GH is just... If this is going to be his performance for this whole tournament, I mean, it's one game, one play, but, like, I'm excited. I'm excited. This is, like, classic GH that we just saw. That was an amazing play. That was awesome.
He had a good breakfast this morning. He's ready. He's hungry. Well, maybe not that hungry if he had a good breakfast, but, you know, he sees this prize pool, and he's like, man, that would be really nice from my team here.
It's like
you can see that play again here in the top lane. We got that replay here.
It's the presence of mind to even be there at the right time to do this, right?
Well, I think the haunt was telegraphed, right? Like, when you have a haunt and you're chasing for that long, you kind of know, like, oh, I better get my butt up there.
Yeah, but you have like 3 seconds to do it, you know? It's like if he wasn't already in position, you can't get there in time. And also the fact that there is the haunt, he's got a blink, Moxie, you know? It's like, if he's...
That is true.
Like, the blink could be canceled, so... Yeah, just in the right place at the right time and press his buttons perfectly.
Meanwhile, Somnus making space. He was poking a little bit over in the jungle, but now he's got to be very, very careful. He keeps using that whip, trying to make a little bit more here as they'll find a kill on Kaka. As Wrath's gonna get used, get a little bit of vision. The chase over onto X-Nova. Another support's gonna get cleaned up on the side of RNG. And in the bottom lane, they just find Somnus because he's just playing around a little too much.
Yeah, he had no remnants left. He had a remnant up back somewhere else. I don't know if Nigma was camping it or something. So he used a second remnant to go even farther into the trees, which means he had used 2. And so they were all on cooldown for just a second there. Like, that is not like him.
Radiant structures.
Maybe he's feeling like he needs to be making that space, but like we said, it's very rare for him to make that kind of an error.
Yeah, that was a blunder, and it's like Nigma, man, they're pressuring here. Troll is like he's one of the fastest siegers in the game. He's got a Battle Fury. He is going to hit that 3 or 4 item timing extremely hard. I think once he has BKB Satanic, like, the fights are going to look so easy for Nigma.
In the mid lane, they'll find the opening on Kuroki, so won't have the Zeus available unless he wants to buy back fight. They're poking a little bit. GH jumping forward, gets hit over onto Kaka. Is going to end up losing that Shadow Shaman as they jump right back in. They're going to go and punish GH. Look at a kill using the Haunt. Miracle, though, forcing out that ultimate, chasing after Chalice, hoping that they can stun him, and they do have it with Sumail blinking forward. They'll get the kill as Ghost diving a little bit deeper, needing to be careful. In fact, look, he turns around.
Deep.
That is, I'm not sure what that TP was. That was very optimistic as he walks right into the avalanche. Oh no, X-Nova and Ghost, they looks like they are going to die hand in hand together. Oh dear, that was an awful fight for RNG and a very, very good one for the side of Nigma.
Yeah, Sumail had an arcane rune on Tiny for that fight. I mean, that is the dream. 9.8 second cooldown on an avalanche and 7.7 on toss. So he's just in and out for this entire fight.
Radiant's middle tower.
Mind control kind of feeding, but he does set up. They're camping.
Walking away. They're camping. You see Kuro waiting over there by the remnant just in case, but he's dragging them pretty far out here, dragging the creeps as well. Somnus is trying to make the space.
Somnus is not a mana. He does have magic wand charges,
very scary for him right now. Yeah, he does have like 13, I think, right? No. So he's just gonna zip back to the remnant. He's made a little space. Gotta feel pretty good about that. But over in the mid lane, all right, they'll go. They'll drop the Serpent Wards. Kaka being able to hold Sumail into place. They've got a Starbreaker online. They need a bit more damage, though, to take down Sumail. They need some way to cancel out this TP, which they just didn't have.
Wow. he just saw that they used all their stuns and he TP'd out. Okay.
See how fast GH blinked in over there? Sitting a little low, though, Chalice. Thinking maybe he can make something happen here. That Starbreaker, though, not going to be able to connect as they'll turn around, go in for that Solar Guardian, but it does get canceled like we talked about. Thunder God's Wrath coming into play. The root is being used, and Chalice will indeed die as the pressure is on now for RNG. Nigma taking up this residency in the jungle, forcing Ghost to teleport over to the top lane. They are losing a lot of this real estate that's available to them on the side of RNG.
Tusk is looking like a pretty good solution to Dawnbreaker, honestly. It's like, if you're caught in the ult, you can snowball, and you have an interrupt, a BKB piercing interrupt for the Starbreaker, which I think is like a big reason why she's such a powerful core hero, is the BKB on the Starbreaker.
Yeah.
So it's looking really good in this game.
Radiant's middle tower.
Seems like they have a lot of decent solutions, but especially like you said, with Tusk being able to do that Walrus Punch and cancel out the Starbreaker, despite having the shard, a huge one for sure.
Yeah, even Zeus lightning bolts from long range and Sumail with multiple stuns. It's a pretty hard Dawnbreaker game for Chalice.
They smoke in the base. It's very close to the Tiny. Luckily, the range not quite that big, as they'll smoke out, just play behind the Ember. Go for a bit of a scan. They realize there are people nearby. X-Nova hiding in the tree line does have that chaotic offering available. Chalice feeling himself. Sumail getting into position. There's going to be the Haunt coming into play. They're hoping that this fight is going to work out for the chaotic offering, dropping over onto 3. It looks pretty nice, but they need more follow-up. They've already lost Kuroki. Kaka is going to be able to teleport away, but now we've got the Spectre over here left alone, but they'll fall off the Solar Guardian. Can they get the kill, though, over Sumail? Oh my god, yes they can. That's a big play coming out from Somnus. He gets himself a double kill, and they're going to end up losing the Spectre over onto the back lines. Here's Kaka just getting clicked away. Somnus, he's out of mana yet again, but Miracle now left a little bit on an island. X-Nova says, no, please, no, not me. Is going to try to teleport out, and it looks like he is going to make it. Chalice, though, not looking so lucky. It doesn't have a lot of mana, but they've decided, all right, we've got ourselves a tower. We got ourselves, you know, a couple of these kills, the Spectre especially. That's going to be it for them for now.
X-Nova, MVP of that fight. Not only does he get out like a Chad, he had a full upheaval onto Sumail in that fight, and it like Tiny being kited like that looks so bad. It looks so rough. And then that also set up for the full Dawnbreaker Solar Guardian. It hit like 3 heroes, and then he followed up with like a 3-man Starbreaker or something like that. And it was all X-Nova just sitting there in the trees, like channeling max fatal bonds on everybody as well. But Sumail
found that position.
Sumail had a good buyback, I think. Otherwise, Miracle dies there at the end. It was 3v1, and I don't think Miracle can win that, even though he's quite strong.
Now, that was a lot of ultimates that got used. You can see now Nigma Galaxy, they're making their way over now. They're smoked up. They're saying, all right, let's get a pick off. Let's get something off of this now that they don't have these big ults into play. As they find themselves Somnus here in the bottom lane, they get Kaka immediately, and they'll follow up with the Ember. And X-Nova also following doing that. So 3 heroes over on the side of RNG just obliterated. And they're going to be taking some time out.
Yeah, you kind of called it early on with the big ults. RNG has no ults available, so Nigma, they look for a smoke. They know, like, no matter who they go on, it's going to be a good jump because there's just nothing to follow up for RNG. And they actually get 3 kills from that. I did not expect maybe to go down there. Or Somnus, rather.
A little bit of a dive into the base, toss over onto Chalice, Lover's Punch coming in, and they'll use the shards. They'll have the Celestial Hammer, though, so... Looks like Dawnbreaker should be able to just walk away. The fortification's going to get used, but pressure is real.
Yeah, that was just space for Miracle. They're just messing around while Miracle takes the spot tower. But yeah, they have to back Nigma. They understand that the ults are coming up for RNG, and basically Kuro's going to die in any fight where these ults come up. So Nigma, they know they're probably going to have to 4v5, and that's not, you know, it's easier said than done.
I mean, it's the 5 Zeus, though. Like, that's kind of... Yeah, all the things that Zeus brings in the kit are excellent, but as it gets later and later, it is just going to become more and more difficult for him to survive, like you're saying.
He does have a Ghost Scepter now, so he's trying to survive the haunts. I'm not sure if it's... I think it's going to be enough to kite and be annoying, but he probably still dies eventually. But the question is, like, what can Nigma get in return for when Kuro is, like, keeping himself alive for 4 seconds? And I feel like with the...
Sorry, continue.
Goddamn online, the ping. Yeah, I think it just depends on how the fights go. Like, oftentimes you commit to a Zeus, and the 4 seconds, like, yeah, you kill him, but you lose 4 heroes. It's just not good.
X-Nova in position here just to break any sort of smoke. They don't even bother with the smoke, though, over on the side of Nigma's Miracle. Gonna try to chase after X-Nova. They'll go in for that vision using the Zeus ulti snowball over onto the Warlock. Not gonna have any issues with that this time around, as Kaka also gets taken out. Ghost hunting on the back lines, would like to get rid of Kuroki, but he's got his dancing shoes on. It looks like he's surviving pretty decently now, and they'll turn it right back around onto Ghost, and that's just a dead Spectre. Even went in with the Solar Guardian, but now Chalice is in kind of an awkward position here because he doesn't have anybody else there to help him, so he'll get rooted into place. They've got the damage. It doesn't matter with that Starbreaker. They have the right click. Do end up getting themselves a consolation kill here with GH falling to Somnus, but this game is just getting really difficult for RNG, as in the bottom lane, look at this, we've got the creeps already pushing in.
The trees, baby. All right, that's some good split push action right there. That's some Nature's Prophet. That's your dream as Nature's Prophet. It's like, yes, keep focusing on the fight that's going on right now. Yes, I swear to God, I'm not doing anything. Just relax. All of a sudden, your Rax is dead.
Nothing to see here. But with that victory in that team fight, that's going to open up this middle Rax, which they'll take down and make their way over to the top. This is feeling really difficult now for RNG. It's an 18k net worth lead. I don't think that they had the momentum that they necessarily were hoping for. As Kaka does jump in, they drop the Serpent Wards, they'll drop the Chaotic Offering, and they'll try to hold Miracle into place for a little bit longer, but not gonna matter, because they just chip through here, as on the back lines, lose Kuroki. Miracle, though, he's just doing so much damage, chases after X-Nova, Sumail, they're just gonna cut through everything over on the back lines. They're trying to get Mind Control. This time they do manage to get, so it's double kill now for Somnus, but they're losing these buildings, and this is Defense of the Ancients. Okay, put a little bit more pressure over onto Miracle. Sumail, though, in a nice position to toss back over here. Do get that disarm off, thanks to Heaven's Halberd, but oh my god, oh, that's a double kill for a Miracle. The GGs get called. Nigma Galaxy just looking so dominant in this game number 1.
I don't know if that was a... I want to call that a shellacking. I mean, I feel like the early game was like pretty close, but I don't know. It felt like the momentum was pretty set in Nigma's favor for like 90% of that game. There's a couple of periods where RNG had, you know, a nice team fight where like they pick off Sumail, maybe they get GH or something like that. There was that fight top where we saw GH with the amazing snowball save. Like they maybe could have gotten Miracle there, and the game looks entirely different. Like there were times where RNG was like teetering on the edge of like, okay, maybe they've got this, but it was 10% of the game. For the other 90% of the game, like Nigma looked 100% in control of the game, which is cool to see, because like I was saying at the start, there's a Div 2 team, technically speaking, versus rank 1 seed in China. So pretty big stuff for them today.
I mean, like you said, technically, it is a lower Div team, but I think a lot of people would, they argue a little bit that, Nigma is not your normal Div 2 team.
Of
but
course.
again, I do want to bounce back to the fact that, China has been playing their Dota a little bit slower. And it just seems like Western Europe, especially with Nigma, they played this, like we said, just very aggressively. They got those lanes. Top lane was an absolute disaster for RNG. Just, we lost Miracle early on, but then they just kept killing Kaka over and over and over. And it just became too difficult for them to get much done, because I feel like that should have been a pretty dominant lane.
Yeah,
coming out from the side of Royal Never Give Up with the Dawnbreaker and the Shaman, but did not end up playing that way. And once they got that momentum going, they just did not let their foot off the gas on that. So yeah, they looked very, very strong for sure.
Yeah, you would think like Dawnbreaker is just one of the strongest heroes in the game in general, but also like at laning. Her stats are just ridiculous. Her Q and her W do way too much damage at level 1, level 2. And then Shadow Shaman, he's got like the second highest base damage in the game. So yeah, you would think, but it's just Nigma. They knew that if they put the Tusk up there, that the Shadow Shaman is very vulnerable to just getting like ran down. They knew that if they were going to play like the slow harass lane, they were going to lose, and they needed to kill instead. And it was absolutely the right call. So kudos to whoever on their team made that call, because it was incredibly game winning. And that sort of stuff snowballs the entire game. It makes the game look like that. It's just a single call like that.
Yeah, definitely shout out to GH. Like we said, it looked very, very good. He was in great placement during a lot of those fights, coming in with saves. And again, it does seem like Tusk is very, very strong against the Dawnbreaker. And also, shout out to Xno. We saw a really nice positioned, ultimate coming out from him, followed up with, that upheaval, which kind of turned the fights around. But yeah, Nigma, they look like, they've been doing their homework. They're hungry. They're ready to go back up to Div 1 in the DPC. And they look fantastic. So this is, of course, a group stage game. It is round robin format, but all the games are a best of 2. So we are going to go to a little bit of a break. We're going to have some highlights for you as well, so you can get a little bit more hyped and amped up for game number 2, but we are going to go to a break.
Progress is a race that has no end. After every finish line, another challenge awaits. How can we continue to push innovation in a sport